Hello and welcome to Odds on Champions League second leg semi-finals. Last 3 games in this competition, and we have Arsenal, Atletico Madrid on Tuesday, and we have Bayern Munich, PSG on Wednesday. Everything is open. All 4 teams can qualify to the final. So I'm looking forward to listening to Alain Valnegri, to Ronan Murphy, to let us know what they think, because they've been looking at the odds, at the games, at the stats, to find value and to tell us what to bet on in these games, and of course prepare us for the game. So hello Alain, hello Ronan, thanks everyone for watching. Let me know in the comments your tips and your best bets for these 2 games. And now let's go on with the show. And we start on Tuesday at the Emirates, Arsenal, Atletico de Madrid. The first thing, of course, is checking the odds, the 1x2 market, and the bookies place Arsenal as huge favorites, 1.76. The Gunners had a very good week because I think they left alive the Metropolitano with the 1-1. They were second best in that game, and then they had a comfortable game on Saturday with many good news. One of those, the most important one in my opinion, is Saka back at the best level, and is so important for the Gunners. But Atletico de Madrid, as the underdog, they like to play in this way. They showed, especially in the second half, that they could be dangerous. And I want to know first your opinion, guys. If you find these odds disproportionate, Alain, or you give some options to Atletico de Madrid, or more options that the bookies is showing us?
Yes, in my opinion, the bookies believe in the Arsenal from August until end of March, and right now, can we have which type of input we can have after the game against Fulham? The next month, the last 6 weeks are terrible for Arsenal, and I am not sure Arsenal are back, in the sense of I saw a team in Madrid suffer, because Atletico Madrid in the second half, during 25 minutes, can be scored 3 goals without problem. And after Arteta have big change, he changed the 3 forward, and he finished better. But this Atletico can generate problem to this team. At the beginning of the season, I remember Arsenal won really easy against Atletico Madrid. But he was the best version of Arsenal, and he was a poor version of Atletico Madrid. He was the Liga version of the team of Simeone, and Simeone at the beginning of the season, or the first part of the season, suffered a lot to play in England. We saw that in Liverpool too. But right now he corrects some things. It's not a case. Atletico Madrid is there. They kick out Football Club Barcelona, and the best game was away. And I remember the first Atletico go to the Champions League in Lisbona, in semi-final, they won in London against Chelsea after a difficult and a draw in the first leg in Madrid. That one can be reproduced in my opinion. Atletico Madrid for style is a team can disturb Arsenal because it's physical, search the duel, and Arsenal don't feel so comfortable. In my opinion, Arsenal feel more comfortable against academic team, want the possession and can attack in transition. Atletico can wait it, and we saw about the wave of pressure with Atletico in the second half. During 25 minutes, Atletico can be competitive in London. I choose 2 odds for this game. The first is both team to score with over 2.5 goals, odds 2.40, and Julian Alvarez assist or goal, odds 3.30.
He's doubtful, but I'm sure he's gonna play for sure. He rested. Well, everyone rested at Atletico de Madrid at the weekend, including, of course, Julian Alvarez. You mentioned the goals market. We had more shots on target at the Metropolitano than in the Parc des Princes, so we had chances. And perhaps, Ronan, the most difficult moment for Atletico Madrid is going to be the first 20 minutes. I expect Arsenal starting really hard, pushing. They are always very strong when they are playing at the Emirates.
They are. I think the interesting thing will be to see how Diego Simeone sets up for this one, because, like Alain said, that second half he changed the formation. He brought Alain and Ronan on for the second half, and that kind of changed things, and it changed how Atletico were able to dictate the game, whereas maybe they weren't beforehand. And we'll have to see, does he start with 3 at the back, 4 at the back, what kind of approach he goes for in the first half, to see whether he starts kind of slowly and eases into the game, or he and Atletico will also start looking for that early goal, and that could prove vital in this game, because we know the way Arsenal have set up for the last few months. They want to get the early goal themselves. They want to win 2-0. It's the Tom Rennie favourite on the Premier League show to go for Arsenal 1-0 win or to win 2-0. They just want to get that early goal out of the way, shut up shop, try and get a clean sheet. And yeah, you said there was more shots in the Arsenal match, the Arsenal Atletico Madrid match, the other match. That's probably because the goalkeepers actually made some saves. So yeah, that was the difference in the game, that there are two good goalkeepers in this one. So that kind of should play into Arsenal's hands, I think, if the goalkeepers can be sharp and David Raya can be sharp again, because Arsenal are on a tremendous unbeaten run at the moment in the Champions League. They've equalled their record in the Champions League from 2004 into 2005 into the 2006 season. That the 13 games unbeaten in the Champions League. They're the only team not to lose in the Champions League yet this season, and Atletico will be a bit fresher. That's what they'll be thinking, I think, because, like you said, Simeone changed the entire team, and it was the entire team. Sometimes when we say it, it's only the 10 outfield players, but no, Simeone changed everybody, goalkeeper and everybody. 11 changes at the weekend, and they still won. They still won 2-0. So, yeah, this is a Atletico Madrid team that can cause Arsenal problems, like Alain said, and I like the Julian Alvarez bet that he gave a goal or assist. He's the quickest South American player to reach 25 Champions League goals. Took him 41 games. Messi took 42. So I'd say he's happy enough to be Messi in that record books. Him as an anytime goal scorer, I like. That's Alain went for goal or assist. I like as a goal, because there might be penalties in this match, 450. If there was an over 2.5 penalties per match, I bet that we could take. That could be one to go for in this one. But incredible the way the bookies are looking at this match. They're giving Max Daumann and 𝐬𝐿𝐴 a better chance of scoring than Julian Alvarez in this match. Eze has 1 goal in the Champions League this season. Daumann has 1 goal in his career. And the bookies are giving him a better chance of scoring giving those 2 players a better chance of scoring than Julian Alvarez, who takes penalties for Atletico Madrid and has 25 Champions League goals in his career. So it's kind of crazy the way that Atletico are being under kind of valued by the bookies, and I think that's where a lot of the value will be here. The smart bet, our AI, is also kind of confusing me for this match a little. It's going for under 10.5 corners, and if you know anything about Arsenal, they go for corners. Over 10.5 corners has happened in 47% of matches for Atletico Madrid. Arsenal, 44% of the time. Over 9.5 corners is 46% of the time for Arsenal. It's just 44% for over 10.5 corners. So when Arsenal get corners, there's plenty of them. So over 10.5 corners, I like in this match at 206. It's come in for me a couple of weeks in a row in the Bundesliga, so I'm liking to look at the corner market at the moment. Alain has gone for both teams to score here and goals in this match. Amazingly, both teams to score yes and no are around the same value, so nobody really knows what to expect from it. But I just love the value that Atletico Madrid have everywhere. I know Arsenal have only lost 1 of their last 15 home games to Spanish clubs, but when Atletico Madrid play English teams, they tend to go through. 11 of the 15 times they played 2-legged games against the English clubs in Europe, they've gone through. So Atletico Madrid to win here, just to win in 90 minutes, I like the look of it because it's so massive. And it was only 1-1 last week. It's not that like this match was 3-0 and it's over. No, this is a match where Atletico Madrid can definitely win. It wouldn't shock anybody if they won. So why is it 5.59? That just seems crazy. As well, if you sit safer, Atletico Madrid to qualify, 3.45. That's a bit safer. And again, even safer again. Atletico Madrid double chance. So all they need to do is draw in normal time, and they could not get knocked out in penalties, and you'd still make money at 2.30.
They are completely underestimated by the bookies. We all know that the bookies are always in the English team's side, but in this case, I would say these semi-finals are, say, 55 for Arsenal, 45 for Atletico Madrid, but I would give them a lot of credit. I also remember you mentioned the history of Atletico Madrid against English teams. In the pandemic season, we had one big game at Anfield, but even bigger was the game they had at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea, with Arda Turan scoring Diego Costa. Even Fernando Torres scored for Chelsea. In this case, and Atletico went through to the final, so I'm sure all Atletico fans remember that game also in London. Funny enough, as you said, Ronan, it pays the same both teams to score yes or no, and also over or under 2.5 goals. The bookies don't know what to expect, so there is value in those markets. We had a poll in the channel asking which team is going to go through. Arsenal, 56% of our audience. Atletico, 44%. We have Ronan saying or tipping for Atletico de Madrid. For Alain, it's not clear to me, Alain.
No, but I trust in Simeone. Simeone had good memory about semi-final, quarter-final in Champions League in England, especially in the second leg. You mentioned the game in Anfield. You mentioned I mentioned too the game in Stamford Bridge. The moment of form, in my opinion, is for Atletico Madrid. The doubts start with the game against Fulham, but Fulham don't have any goal at the end of the season, and
half the team is injured or ill.
Yeah. But I trust in Simeone, because Simeone known to prepare that type of game, and when you don't have pressure to do the game, Simeone is the best version of Simeone. And I hope Atletico Madrid can go to the final, but for me it's 50-50.
We have some comments here. One guy saying, John Cherem, I see Atletico to win 2-0, kind of crazy, but I'll put a tenner. Heart says Atletico, head says Arsenal. Konats is telling us Arsenal to win and both teams to score. There is no way Atletico can beat Arsenal at the Emirates, but another one saying Atletico can making it. Let's hope also we don't see poor refereeing as we saw at the Metropolitano. In my opinion, none of the two penalties were penalties, and even the third one that was overturned, I have my doubts. Still, I don't think it's a penalty, but for sure the first two are never penalties. We can check now to finish our Arsenal Atletico Madrid smart bet. You mentioned, Ronan, the top tip is corners, going for under, which is very risky, and your tip is the opposite, actually. And I have to say that, in my opinion, you are right. And then we have goals, going for over 2.5 goals, full-time result. Arsenal is the tip of our AI. There also you can check the tips of our community, and Arsenal to qualify is only 1.3. So with Saka back, as 𝐿𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜𝐭𝐼 is telling us, the odds are very low. Probably also with 𝐬𝐭𝐵C𝐿 in the starting 11, scoring a couple of goals this weekend with Havertz injured. All right, this is Arsenal Atletico Madrid on Tuesday, and everyone is excited to watch Bayern Munich PSG. Let's hope is, let's say, 2/3 of fun, as much fun as we had last Tuesday, and still we can see another great game. It was one of the best games I think we've all seen in our lives. 9 goals. The goalkeepers didn't exist. Every shot on target was a goal, and it looks like it's going to be very similar. I'm not talking about the goalkeepers or the midfielders also, because 𝐿𝐭𝐴 or 𝑉𝑇INHA didn't exist. But Luis Enrique said he expects a similar game in Munich, and I think also Bayern Munich expect exactly the same. They are conceding a lot of goals in the last games, and I think it's just the mindset of these two managers. So it's gonna be very difficult to know which team is gonna win, but for sure we can expect over 3 goals, over 4 goals. Ronan, I'm also very surprised to see the European champions with these odds, 4.2 PSG. Remembering also that they were 5-2 in the first leg. Let's see if they don't regret this 5-2 and not knowing how to close the game. And at the moments, it's also good to keep the ball, don't attack, and so on and so on. But these teams don't know how to control the games. What do you expect? Because I see a lot of value in PSG in these odds.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of value in PSG in the odds. Maybe I didn't put it in, but maybe PSG to win the first half, because like you said, Bayern Munich seem to be a team that wins second halves at the moment. That's happened in the Bundesliga in the past few weeks. Even when they're rotating players, they seem to go behind and then come back and win or get a point like they did at the weekend, even against the team in bottom of the Bundesliga. So I think that was maybe a clever ploy on Vincent Kompany's move. They can't say the Bundesliga isn't competitive and they're resting on the players when they draw with the team who are last in the Bundesliga before they play PSG. So it's maybe a way to get the critics away from them. But you said Luis Enrique said this was going to be another entertaining match. Vincent Kompany said the same. He was asked would he be more defensive in the second half, and he said if anything they're going to be more attacking. So yeah, more goals please. Yeah, we'll have some more goals please. These are the teams with the most goals. While Bayern Munich have the most goals in Europe, 3.4 games per match. PSG have the third most goals in all competitions, 2.54 goals per match. It's the first time in Champions League history where 2 teams in the same season have scored more than 40 goals. PSG 43, Bayern 42. And PSG's 5 goals from 5 shots on target was the first time since Opta was started taking detailed stats on that there was 5 goals from just 5 shots on target from one team in the same match in the Champions League. But PSG only actually got 1.9 XG. That shows how bad Manuel Neuer was, which is something we don't really expect. We kind of hope for more of the same this week from the goalkeepers, that they don't exist, because that will give us more goals. Bayern got 3.06 XG, so that kind of showed the way they were able to come back into the match. And that's the mentality that Bayern Munich, I think Vincent Kompany, there was doubts over him when he was appointed over whether he was the right coach. Obviously, after getting relegated in England, it wasn't the best thing to have on his CV, but he has shown that he has that ruthless mentality. They are going to be the 3rd highest goal scorers of all time in a single season, at least, after this season. So this is a team that do not know when to stop, do not know when to take the foot off the gas. They just keep scoring goals, and they have to go for the goals market here, don't we? To get anywhere near 2, you have to go for total goals over 4.25. Why not take that? It's Bayern Munich against PSG. There's going to be goals. I didn't look up correct score 0-0. We talked about it before the match. Correct score 0-0. I don't think it's going to happen. It's going to be a match with goals in it. Bayern Munich, like I said, they score 2 or more goals in every single game. They score 3 goals in most games, 3.4 goals per game they have this season in all competitions. So Bayern over 2.5 goals themselves is 2 also. Bayern Munich, they have come back from this stage before. They've come back four times from 16 altogether after going behind in the first leg in the Champions League. The most recent was against Lazio in 23-24. They won 3-0 in the second leg in that one. They've won all 6 games in the Champions League at home this season. They've beaten PSG the last 2 times they played in Munich. They've played PSG 5 times in 7 games, including by 2 or more goals in 4 of those 5 wins. So I'm going to go for Bayern Munich to qualify at 194.5. Yeah, I think they will qualify, even though they are losing on aggregate at the moment. I'm going to go for the classics for Bayern Munich. 𝐿𝐴𝐴 to get an assist, because it always happens. 2.63 for that one. It's still great value. Harry Kane to score tends to be great value because it usually pays out. 167 for Harry Kane to score. If there is going to be 4 more goals like we think, he surely must score one of them. So Harry Kane to score 167. And then my final tip is, because the second half should be wild. The first half should be wild. The second half should be wilder. I'm going for over 2.25 goals in the second half at 184, because we could have had 20 goals in the second half last week.
Well, especially the team that is losing, they have to attack even more in the second half. So perhaps we see a lot of more goals even in the second half, although I expect much more from the defenders, and also all the attackers were in great form. It's very difficult to reach this level in 2 consecutive games. 0-0 pace 81. If someone thinks we are not going to see goals in this one. Alain also talking about individual people or players. Someone is throwing Harry Kane. We always talk about 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲. But I want to highlight 𝗵𝗵𝗄. Many times overlooked, but he's doing a brilliant Champions League. He was named man of the match in the previous rounds. He scored 2 beauties in the first leg. And yeah, it's a jewel also for PSG. Where do you think, or where is the key in this game? Is someone going to control it, or you expect also, once again, the 6 attackers to have all the credit in the second semi-final?
But it's difficult to imagine a team can be controlled the game, because at the end of the first half, a company tried to control the game with Laimer in the field to add more consistency in the midfield and have more control, because he felt the game was really crazy. But in spite of Laimer wasn't on the pitch, the game started to be more crazy than the first half. In my opinion, the key is the midfield, in every game in football, and we don't saw midfield in the first leg. And I don't wait a game with 9 goals or 8 goals. That one is I am really clear with that, because the percent of the efficiency of PSG is 100%. 5 shoot on the target, 5 goals, and it's difficult in semi-final in Champions to have that number. Bayern was with 50% efficiency. It's not normal statistic. We have 2 really offensive team, but we have defense, we have goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper was not in the present in the first leg. And normally, when do you have the first leg with a lot of goal, both teams can be a little scared, a little more conservative. Is my big doubt, because Company and Luis Enrique, we know is Guardiola school for both manager, and they have that offensive mentality. The model of play are really similar. Bayern, when they're played at home, normally they start really hard in Bundesliga or unknown in Champions, but it's historical. Since I have used to the reason I see Bayern start really hard the game, and with that mentality, PSG with space. You mentioned 𝗵𝗶𝗄, but we need to mention 𝗀𝗏, and we need to mention the golden ball, and it's Dembélé. And Dembélé in the first leg was brilliant too. Maybe 𝗵𝗏 people don't know really well him, but I am half Italian, and I don't really know 𝗵𝗶𝗄. I remember the fans of Napoli remember really well 𝗵𝗶𝗄 when he won a Serie A with a game like against Bayern was every Sunday for 𝗵𝗶𝗄. And yes, my question is the midfield. In my opinion, Paris is mature to go to manage the score, and he must to show that, because when we ask something to Luis Enrique, somebody said, yes, Paris need to win a second champions. No, second 2 champions in a row is something only Real Madrid can do that. And PSG, if PSG can do that, yes, is the symbol of a big maturity. But the maturity is manage this game. In my opinion, the team has the maturity to manage this game. 1 goal in advantage is a lot for a semi-final. When do you know Paris is able to score in every moment of the game? That means Bayern need to score minimal 3 goals to pass to the final. In my opinion, PSG have something more, the goal in advantage, and something we see PSG was winning 5-2, and is the only limit manage the score, because travel with 1 or 3 goals in advantage is totally different. And that one maybe he missed maturity, the team. But in spite of that, until the 5-2, I see PSG with something more respect to Bayern in the efficiency. And for that, I choose double chance, 𝐿2, odds 2.25. And I choose both teams to score in the first half, odds 2.50, because Bayern will be push, and PSG in transition we know, and I wait 2 goals minimum in the first half.
Actually, the odds for both teams to score are really good if you go for the first half, as you mentioned, really high. The second half, as Ronan mentioned, is lower, 1.97, because one of the teams are going to be almost out of the competition. So the bookies expect both to score, but the odds are great, actually, for this market. Well, let's read some comments. Harry, Bayern to win 3-1-7-6 on aggregate. Actually, Luis Enrique also said that they need to score at least 3 goals if they want to be in the final. So imagine also if he trusts his defense, no, or how he praised Bayern Munich attack. I think at one point also these 2 teams should defend and control the game. And maybe we don't see that many goals, but looks like both managers are crazy about scoring. Dembélé will score. Someone is mentioning also Hakimi, very important, of course, the right side of PSG. He was great breaking the lines. Look out for Olise and Dembélé. Shots on target. Well, let's see. The bookies don't know which team to back, actually. It pays the same to qualify. Is 1.9 for either side, 1.91 actually in Bet365, the local team or the away team, or even 1xBet. So as you can see, is exactly the same. Let's check out rivals, what we have in our AI. We have corners under 10.5 goal corners. Then we have under 4.5 goals. And we have PSG double chance, as Alain mentioned. And our audience, we have a poll in this video, is going for Bayern, 53%. PSG, 47%. Also here is divided. Ronan is going for Bayern. Alain is going for PSG. I'm going also for PSG, I have to say, but it's going to be great. These 2 semifinals really open. I think everything can happen, and we have really good odds also in these 2 games. Something else, guys, you want to add in this game?
Yes, it's one of the key. The audience said Hakimi out. It can be a tactical, because we saw a brilliant Luis Diaz in Paris, and who will be play in this position, because Hakimi is really important in defensive. He suffer, but every defender can suffer now against Luis Diaz. But in offensive part, Hakimi is a key player for Luis Enrique.
It was also a bit controversial, Ronan, seeing so many starters playing in the second half for Bayern Munich. Someone was criticizing Kompany, no? Why you need to put all the top players against Heidenheim, even for some minutes, whereas Luis Enrique, with the league still on stake, didn't bother to put Dembélé in the pitch, for instance.
Well, I think that's the narrative that you get from Bayern Munich, is that they have to win every game. And even if they were to play 12-year-olds in the match, the Vincent Kompany would get criticised from the fans if they don't win every game. And it doesn't matter who they're playing, whether it's the team that are bottom of the Champions League or the team that are bottom of the Bundesliga or this PSG side in the Champions League semi-final. They're expected to win every match, and the fans expect nothing less. And that's what we see even when Bayern Munich play pre-season friendlies. They're expected to win them, and when they play every year against a local side from the 9th to 10th tier, they win 32-0. They win 34-0. They score so many goals. They're expected to win regardless of who's on the pitch. And regardless of who they're playing, they're expected to win. And that's the pressure that comes from Bayern Munich. And that's probably the pressure that Vincent Kompany is under every minute of every day at Bayern Munich. And that's why they're expected to win the Champions League. And they're expected to win 34 games out of 34 in the Bundesliga. And a draw against Heidenheim, I know they rested most of the players, but he's been criticised for it, that they couldn't beat Heidenheim even with the B team. So, yeah, that's just the way Bayern Munich is. They expect to win every match. And if they don't win this week, then there'll be questions of whether Vincent Kompany is the right man for Bayern Munich going forward, even though they're going to score 120 goals in the Bundesliga. It's just crazy.
Yes, and we can add Heidenheim. Heidenheim is fighting for a play-out spot, and we know in Germany they're always putting the debate, the ethical, and when do you play with substitute is not like France or everybody said, no, PSG is good, they don't play, and it's the only country now we have a team without playing in Ligue 1 to conserve energy for the champions. It's a shame. It's totally a shame, and Kompany was right, and some managers said it's better to play and have the rhythm than have training, and probably it was that. But a draw against Heidenheim, how many draw Bayern this season had home, and it was with the last team in the table.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is it, guys, for our Champions League semi-finals second leg. Remember, of course, that you can post your tips in Oddspedia. You have the opportunity to participate in our tipster competitions. We have the monthly one, brand new in May. You can check out actually the results for April if you want to. We have a Premier League one, yearly one, so feel free to participate. It's completely for free. And also we have rivals where you can create your own tipster competition. There you go. Well, it's difficult to find a safe bet. Well, both in score could be an option for the Bayern PSG. Who knows? But I'm sure Alain and Ronan have found some safe bets in these semi-finals. Alain?
Arsenal, Atletico Madrid over 1.75 goals, odds 1.35.
Okay, also goals on Tuesday, Ronan?
You have said it. It's Bayern Munich PSG, both teams to score at 128. If Alain has his way, it'll happen in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. And Alain, ACCA?
Arsenal Atletico over 0.75 goals in the first half, and Luis Diaz 2 or more shoot on the target, odds 2.84.
He was great, Luis Diaz in Paris. And Ronan, your ACCA?
Well, if that's right, it'll be 2 goals from those 2 shots on target. If we've seen the goalkeeping from from last week, if it comes true again. But I'm putting my mouth where my money is, or my money is where my mouth is for the ACCA this week. I'm going for Atletico to qualify and Bayern to qualify for a total of 673.
We could see like the final in the 70s once again. Bayern Atletico de Madrid, Arsenal looking for their second final, Atletico the 4th, PSG second title back to back in the Champions League, and Bayern Munich for the sixth, right? The sixth Champions League. They have 5 at the moment. Well, a lot of things on stake, and we've analyzed them all. I hope so. You enjoyed. Thank you, Alain. Thanks, Ronan. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and see you very soon. Bye-bye. Good luck.